All right, what's happening, my mathletes? Let's start to go through and get a couple things tidied up here, shall we, as we go through our notes and our homework for sections 1-1 all the way through 1-3. So a lot of good stuff that I've seen in some of your work, but there's a couple things here we got to correct. And one of the most basic things, I mean, this is something you got to get this right. So one of the things you've got to get right here is to make sure you get this thing named correctly. And over here, same thing for your slide deck. Make sure you get those named correctly. Also, things you got to get named correctly is this part right here. You shouldn't have my name for the slide up in there. I mean, that's just lazy. I don't know what that is, but make sure that you get it right. And as a famous administrator once said, if you don't do something right the first time, do it again. So in order to make sure you know how to name things correctly, I'm going to go ahead and refer you all the way over into Schoology, over here into our tech folder. So if you go into your class and then down into this tech stuff folder, you'll see an option here, how to share your slide deck as a comment. So that'll take you through how to do everything in case you missed it in class, or if you were in class and didn't get it done right, there's your another option to get it done right the second time. All right, so let's get that done right. Now, another thing to take advantage of too, some of you, when you're taking a look at your work, you got to be neat, you got to be organized, and it's got to be right. And I know, there's some work that some of you guys really need to tighten up a little bit. So there's the answer key for numbers 1 and 2. And some of you make some errors here, which are very common, but also very inaccurate. And that's called the linkage error. So let's take a look at this student's work right here. And there's a couple of things with this. Again, this is the little stuff I want to make sure it's solid with. So this person would lose a point because of their notation, and you want to have an M equals in front of that. And then right here, you're not going to use that symbol, you're going to use an equal symbol. All right, now that's one linkage error. So make sure that you take your time to go ahead and do that. Now what I like about their work here for the third part is they show all of their steps going all the way through until they get it all the way down to that slope intercept form, which is awesome. But be really careful here. Again, when you show your dividing and everything, here we've got, if you take a look at this student's work, on their very last line, like they showed, the left side is divided by 4, and then they show all of this and then divide by 4. But then, and this is a common mistake here, on the 57, they forgot to put the divided by 4 also. So just, again, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And what I like to do on this step right here is, instead of writing it that way, write the negative 11x over 4, and then plus, just separate them, 57 over 4. And then that way you make sure to not make that mistake, because that's a common mistake. Now, speaking of which, when you are going through, here's another one with a linkage error. So here's one student's work, and again, it's like this piece right here is a great start. They're showing their difference quotient, they got the M equals, but then all of a sudden, how is this piece right here that I just circled, how is that connected to that other stuff over there? The short answer is it's not. So make sure you include an equal sign, because you want to link all of those pieces together, because in this student's case, they would be deducted a point for notation because they're not linking the slope to the final value that they come up with of negative 11 over 8. All right, so just a couple things to keep in mind there as you work through your work. And then other thing too with this person's work here, and this is one thing, again, this was really good on this first student that we looked at, like on the third part when they were changing everything to slope intercept form, like you could see all those steps. It was awesome. It was all well written out and everything when they were going through that. But then this person right here, it's like when they go from point slope form, and this part right here, it's not labeled, and the next part's not labeled, so we don't really know what they're talking about there. So be sure to label those, boys and girls. But the other thing is, you got to show your work. How did you get to 11x plus y equals 21? There's no way you're doing that in your head. So again, keep it nice, keep it neat, keep it organized, just like I've modeled for you guys in class, so that you can clearly communicate the process of the mathematics that you're using to get all the way down there. And that's it for this one. And same thing when you look here on the next term, on their line 4, how did they get from 11x plus y equals 21 all the way down to this fraction? Because based on what they have in line 3, so if you take 11x plus y equals 21 and you solve that for y, you should get y equals negative 11x plus 21. And that does not match what they have there. So I don't know where that answer is coming from, what's right, what's not right. Who knows? Because the work is not shown. So take your time, show your work. And this step right here where they have step 5 little check, obviously they did not check themselves, because you can clearly see how they've wrecked themselves, because none of this stuff matches up. So they did not go through Desmos and check to make sure they're correct. So just a couple things I've noticed in your work and everything that I want to make sure that you guys tighten up and are solid with as you go through before we get into some more complex things. All right, so let's get the easy stuff right before the hard stuff gets super hard. All right, and again, same thing here. If we take a look on this next part right here, when they go through to do number 4, again, no equal sign right here connecting all of this stuff together. So again, take your time, make your work nice, neat, and organized, just as I showed you, and you guys will be good to go. Other than that, pretty solid stuff. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Peace out.